All right, so MX Bikes got a huge update today. This is beta 19, and here is the change log that they posted in the Discord, in the MX Bikes Discord. I tried to search for this on Steam, but it wasn't on Steam yet, so this is just from the Discord. But yeah, so we got a lot of different notes here. Nothing like too crazy, I would say. To start us off, you can now save setups as common per bike, which allows using one setup for all tracks. So basically, like if you have a setup that was from High Point, you don't have to go to High Point to get a setup. You can just use your common one now for all tracks. So that's a huge plus. I always lose where I put my setups, so that's huge. They fixed a bug in the replay trackside cameras. They fixed a bug in the tire physics and loading of tires. I really never had that issue, so I don't know if anybody else had it. I guess never had that issue. Fixed a bug in the garage tire pressures. Also never had that issue. I don't know who've had that before. Address multiple smaller garage bugs. So this is probably like the biggest update right here. Is the lean reference point is updated from the rear wheel to the front wheel, providing a more direct and in control feeling, especially noticeable when cornering. So I've heard a lot of good things about this. I believe Ryder mentioned that he said it feels like the cornering is way smoother. Nate just said it in the chat as well. I still got to play around with it. This is really my first time like trying it out. So we're going to do some gameplay here to show it out. But yeah, I've heard some good things about this. I don't know if it's going to be much of a major change for a lot of people. I think it's just going to be like a small change. I feel like people's riding styles are still going to be the same. But yeah, that's probably the major change for this beta 19. And then here's a couple different things too for like the servers and stuff. They added the ability to set the race over length in the dedicated server. So when a race finishes, you have 30 seconds to finish a race and it kind of like goes back. That's actually kind of cool because sometimes it's just like when a race finish, you're just sitting there for a while. And so now this will help with like those random dedies that can just that don't have anybody in it, that can just automatically change it back to practice and stuff. Introducing a dedicated server option to the disabled chat. I think that's huge. I actually really believe that is a great thing because one, I've had it in the past where some bad things were said in the chat and I didn't notice it and it was in a video. And now I have my chat disabled because of it, because it was very bad and it shouldn't be said. So I think that's actually huge. So some of those like generic servers can just disable chat so nobody can actually see it. I think that's huge. And then for bike modders, it is now possible to set the version number of a bike mod by adding such and such into a bike any. For example, version 19 or 19,000 would be for beta 19 and then kind of go from there. This is more for smart people. I don't mod any bikes, man. I don't know anything for that aspect. Added support for stock bike setups, which means now you can create a setup directory in the bike folder to release a bike with multiple stock setups. That's actually huge. I think that's gonna be cool for later on. It should automatically update from Steam. So if you guys haven't updated your game or you haven't played it since yesterday when you guys watch this video, it should automatically update when you open the game. And then you guys want more information on it, go check out the boy Doc's video right here. Everything you need to know about beta 19 and MX Bikes. He went over, explained probably way better in detail than I have. But yeah, now we're going to jump into it and just play a little bit and see how we feel a difference. All right, guys, we're going to spin some laps at High Points and give you guys our thoughts about the new updates. I also brought along a couple of guys that are really good at this game, and one of them even got top 3 in the MXGP season, aka Briggs, and another guy is getting top 10s in the 450 class right now. So I think we have a good perspective on like how we feel on the game, on the new update per se. So right off the rip, when I was streaming it, and you guys can say they go back in the streams, I've really felt no difference. I don't know if that was just my play style, my riding style. I didn't really feel too much of a difference. Now, with that being said, I know that there is a difference. Like it maybe like in the ruts, it feels a little bit more planted. The cornering feels maybe a little bit more smooth. But I feel like with my riding style on the like recently, I've been more patient with anything, or more than anything. And so maybe I don't really feel too much of a difference. I will say this though, at like off camber hills corners, such as this one at High Point, your front end does not twitch as much as the old OEMs. I noticed that a lot during the stream. But yeah, I brought in a couple guys and I wanted to have a civil discussion with them because they know a lot more physics aspects and they can feel a lot more better than me. I don't know what I'm going with this, but we got the boy Briggs and we got the boy Davey. And Davey said he felt the weight difference in the sand. Is that right?
Yeah.
So what did you feel like different, like compared to like say sand earlier?
Well, most people know I got a front tucking issue, dry or sand, doesn't matter. But the way I'm tucking now is my front end will start tucking, and then my bike will just throw a random whip into the ground. That's
Okay.
what I've had so far, especially in sand. Like my bike will go in to the right, front tucking, and I'll just whip to the ground to the left.
Yeah, I personally haven't noticed that. I haven't really seen, for me just playing like in the sand and stuff, I haven't really seen too much of like the front tucking issues. I don't know if that's because what they're trying to accomplish, they're trying to make the front end more stable. Briggs has some pointers too. Like he was saying that he definitely feels it way, like you definitely feel way planted, like way more planted in the ruts.
Yeah, just like off. I mean, I play on high direct lean as a soft on a vary, but the front end, especially on like lifts and things, it feels like it's not just sliding off, not breaking traction so easily. Almost like it has more drag, but I don't know if that would be the correct way to say it. But so far, at least, it feels like it's attached to the ground a little bit more, but that also adds things like sliding out, traction maybe losing. I don't know, just
Yeah.
the way that the bike turns. But as a whole, the front end feels more controllable and it doesn't feel like I'm riding a sand track right now, but front end feels definitely like you can predict what it's going to do more, and may not do what you want it to, but as you learn it, it's more predictable, I think.
And that's the thing too, like I feel like we maybe have a placebo effect right now because like we played it yesterday and like maybe we're not noticing too much of a difference. And shout out to the boy, it's Nate. You guys know him from our freestyle video. And he was just like, dude, give it a couple days and then after Southwick, go back on the old beta 18, whatever it was, J or something, and see if you feel a difference in the front end. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to come back and talk about this on stream later this weekend probably and test out the old beta and then come back to this one and see if we feel that difference. But like I get what Briggs is saying too. Like it feels more planted in the ruts. It feels like it's like you know where it's going to go. I feel for me, like I was already trying to ride at a, like not over my head already. So I don't know if like I feel too much of a difference in that aspect, you know? I know that the boy's skills came into the chat during the stream and stuff, and he said he didn't really feel a difference. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I do feel though, guys, like we're gonna probably notice it in the long run. We're gonna probably notice like, hey, our front end's not twitching as much, or maybe we're not front tucking as much, or you know, but I also like, how is this going to play a factor with the new OEMs coming out? Because they're already going to try to slow down the game. So maybe this front end change
No
is
more
going to help
R2
with that.
simulator.
Yeah, so maybe this front end physics, like the lean reference point, is going to help with those slower bikes.
Yeah, because now it lets you slide the rear end. Because if you think about it, with the front end or with the lean being based off your front wheel now, it allows you to manipulate the rear wheel because your rider's based off. Because I mean, if anybody rides in real life, if you're sliding the rear wheel through a flat corner or something, your weight's on the front wheel and you're sliding the back wheel with throttle control. And I think that's hopefully the direction that they're trying to go with the game, which I think would be sick if it's more just hold it wide open as long as you can.
Yeah, and I think that will determine some skill sets for like flat corners, especially in like supercross and stuff. You can like, if it really is dependent on the front end, like, and if you're leaning forward and giving it gas, your back end's going to slide out like that. And you're kind of like going, I don't know how to describe it, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? And I think that might play a huge factor in like the flat corners and stuff. So I think it should be interesting. We also only really tested it on the KTM 250 today. I really didn't test it out on the 450. So maybe the 450 feels a little bit different than the 250. I also got to figure out.
I'm also on a 250.
Yeah, I also got to figure out like, our setup's going to be different. Like, will setups feel different now that the physics has changed? You know what I mean? Like, do we need to go back and maybe change the fork height or change something in the geometry to make it feel a little bit more stable or less stable, or, you know? So that's kind of a kind of thing we got to think about as well with like the pro races coming up and stuff like that. I also want to let everybody know that if you have an modded UI in the system, your setup will not be under like there will never be a common thing for like setups, if that makes sense. So for example, if you want to do a setup and that's common for everything, you got to do save as, and it will show a checkbox here, right, on the screen. But if you have a modded UI, this will not show up. You would have to delete your modded UI for this to work. So I learned that from the boy Quest. Shout to him. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below. I know we had kind of like a discussion on stream regarding this update, and it was a good discussion. You know, I gave you guys my honest thoughts and opinion. If you guys want to watch that stream, I'll link it down in the description. I would go check out the boy Doc's video. He kind of goes over in detail and describes everything. I'll have that link in the description below. This is more just giving you guys our honest thoughts, and just hearing what you guys have to say in the comment section below. Video is a little different than normal, but we'll get back to our normal routine tomorrow. We got the brand new Huron Mammoth track out. We got still to do a video on the OA, so be on the lookout for that. I appreciate you guys. Nonetheless, shout out to the boy Briggs, shout out to the boy Davey, who said one word, one sentence. He's playing iRacing right now. He's focused on iRacing, but yeah, we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for the love, and we're out. Peace.